Hello everyone, welcome to my reflection video for MUX Class 1308 Project 1. For my heuristics, the first application I found was called Pill Monitor. Visibility of the app status, there really wasn't any. There was no real need for it because everything was user input and it had such a bare bones structure to the application that everything really happened when it was meant to. There was no downtime or anything like that. As far as matching between the app and the real world, again, because of user input, there was no need for any kind of geolocation or sensing of the user's environment. The user control and freedom. The app had cancel buttons when you're entering medication, but they were the same color as all other buttons and did not really stand out from anything. So while they were there, I felt that they were a little poorly done. Error prevention. There really was no error prevention in the app. No confirmation option when adding a medication. There's no quick way to clear text fields or anything like that. Consistency and standards. The app does a pretty good job of making things clear and understandable. Everything is clearly labeled and very easy to kind of navigate. Recognition rather than recall. The application is pretty basic, like I said, but there are quite a few options available through the settings button, and that is not clearly expressed in the application. I only found that out by playing around with it for a while and clicking it to see what it did. And there's a lot of options in there that I don't think really have much to do with settings, like email the information to someone and things like that. So I think I did a fairly poor job in that respect of the recognition. Flexibility and efficiency of use. It was very basic, so it was very easy to use the application for the basic intent of it. The aesthetic and minimalist design. It was aesthetically pleasing with the color scheme, and it offered the basic functionality needed for the desired actions of the application. So I felt it did a pretty decent job there. There are no error messages at all. So really no way to help users recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors. I tested the app for roughly 30 minutes. When I filled this out, I went back and played with it a little longer and still never saw any error messages on it. The help and documentation in this app does not exist. No documentation at all to help the user, but there is a contact us button in the settings list. I didn't use it, so I'm not sure how much help that would be. As far as functionality and all the buttons working, there were a few buttons such as the contact us and email buttons that aren't functional. I was using the free version, so that may be the reasoning for that. I'm not sure. But even in the free version, everything should work. And then my own heuristics, countdown alert when refill is needed. The app did not have the ability to count down medication quantity and alert the user when the refill is needed. And then the second one I had was Med Helper, which I was actually very impressed with. So the app had same basic structure, so there's no wait time at all. Again, like the other one, there's no ability to track users' environment because it's unnecessary. The app did have back buttons through the navigation controller, but no cancel or undo buttons. And all the buttons blended in with the navigation bar. Same color, same everything. So they didn't stand out whatsoever. As far as error prevention, there's no autocomplete ability when setting up the text fields for your medication list. So it definitely leads to users easily making mistakes. Consistency and standards. This app didn't do a very good job of differentiating between the take as needed and prescription options. My prescription shows up in the take as needed section, and it really got very confusing for me. Recognition rather than recall. The app is fairly complex in the number of options available, but I do feel that they're all things that would be needed if they were done properly. I think there's a lot of things that could have been done much better with this one. The manual, about, store, reports, and settings are all on the same list as the functionality, which I think is a mistake and kind of leads to a little bit of confusion, and kind of just bulks up and takes away from the main functionality of the app. Flexibility and efficiency of use. There's no customization on it at all that I found. The steps required to complete a task are minimized, but I found them to be confusing at times. The aesthetics and minimalist design. I thought the aesthetics of this one were horrible. It was very bland and boring. The additional items added to the functionality list was really distracting from the overall goal of the app. As far as helping users recover from errors, there are no error messages in this one that I found either. And I input a series of numbers into the doctor name field, and it was able to save the information, which should not happen. Help and documentation. There was an extensive manual included in the app for all versions of the app. It's very concise and yet detailed enough to help users. All buttons in the app worked, but with such a lack of feedback when completing tasks, it really got very confusing for me when I first started using it. And it does actually have the ability to track the medication quantity and alert the user when refill is needed, but it's only a visual alert. There was no sound with it, so it kind of really does no good if you're not looking at your phone or the app itself. And then the article I chose in the library is Mobile Apps, Mobile Tags, and More, Oh My. And I had a hard time finding anything that went specifically about user experience as far as design and layout goes. But this one did a very good job of going over the branding and marketing through branding. That when you download an app onto your phone from a specific brand, you're much more loyal and much more committed. And then once consumers are using your app to build, say, a weekly shopping list, they're not really going to go anywhere else. So, it's trying to talking about keeping customers loyal through ease of use of your experience, whether it be shopping or whatnot. It says that there are some retailers such as Stop and Shop that have actually offered a mobile app that lets people shop in store using their phones. So that in itself is a marketing tool as well. If you make it more convenient of an experience, that is going to get you more business just from word of mouth. So it was an interesting article, and certainly some things to keep in mind throughout the future and careers. But that does it for my video review. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.